Hello guys, quick video today. Happy New Year to everybody. I came back from the trip. It was really nice, and I decided not to wait for a patch note from GGG because it's already Friday. No patch note preview or anything. Probably they will do it on Monday, so the patch can be the new patch can be possibly um, operating around either the middle of the next week or the end of the next week. I don't know what will be there, but there is no point in waiting. So I decided to move faster into mind over matter version. As you can see here, let's start with the gear. The main changes from the previous version is dream fragments, which really enable this build because we get rid of energy shield to be able to have at the same time a lot of damage and some survivability. The only option at this point is mana, stacking mana, so mind over matter. And to be honest, I think this version is even more tanky than the previous one, because as you can remember, in the previous version I had like less than 5,000 energy shield, and now I have more than 5,000 mana, and like the mana recovery on kill or something like this, it's crazy, especially with this flask. Like this flask enable you to go instantly from like 100 mana to full mana 7 times if you have like the full charges. It's crazy. So that's a huge tech right here. If you have like around over 150 divines to move from my previous version to this version, do it. If you have like more than 200 divines to spare from from zero, just go straight up to this version. I think this one, it's probably even more than 200 divines. It's closer to 1 mirror, I guess. So yeah, so I will show the gear. Yeah, so as you can see, the gear, the chest piece is full of rarity, the shield, yeah, like almost every gear slot where I could put rarity, I did it. So currently I have over 500 rarity. To be precise, I have where is it? 517 rarity plus the charm, because it activates like almost every time when I kill a rare enemy. So yeah, so that's additional 20% of rarity. So that's about it. Yeah, I could swap like the increased mana here, but to be honest, it's really hard at this level to find the replacement for the gear. Even like some additional resistance here and there or something like this, it's really crazy to find better gear. And it's not always about the price, it's often about the availability of the gear itself. It's really hard if you don't want like the poorer mana roll or the poorer rarity roll or something like this. It's really hard to find the replacement. And I think I bought this glove like week 1 or something like this. Yeah, crazy stuff. Mm, but the downside is that my raisins are not longer cap. I miss like 6% of fire res, but I can fix it. But it's not, like it's not a purity at this point because everything just die even faster than the previous versions. Um, so that's it. And why it die faster than in previous version? Because I made a huge, like skill tree revamp, we can say, and I move a lot of points from here to, like travel there, and because we need, like a lot of additional attributes, like we need over 50 strength, we need over 50 dexterity. This note here is also very helpful. It gives us a lot of, like attributes we can just, reallocate to the intelligence, and, like more intelligence, more mana. So that's nice. So that's it. Yeah. So the main reason, as I said before, to change the skill tree to something like this is the idea that we don't need energy shield at all, you know. So we only pick those two nodes here to be able to allocate this one, and outside of this there is no energy shield anywhere. Maybe this not here, but it's only to, like reallocate energy shield to mana. But outside of those two, there is no energy shield on the skill tree. And because we move to the mind over matter here, this node here is, I think, even better than it used to be, because now we just gain additional extra, uh, maybe not extra because it's increased, but I think it's extra, it's multiplicative. So yeah, we gain like 3% increased mana just by allocating this 1 point here. I reallocate all of the crit chance from the skill tree because I thought to myself, like crit is good, but it's not always procced, and there is, I think, better version if you want to go full crit with Eye of Winter. I think that's the name, but Eye of Winter is really clunky if you want to, clear the map. And my idea behind this build is to, like use as less, as little as possible button, to move the character around to fight with monsters. So Eye of Winter is, like out of the picture. um, and yeah, I got rid of those, like additional crit points here and there. I reallocate all of this there to pick those crazy notes. This note is really, I think, fancy because now we have chance to reapply the shock, like instantly. I know that you can, with a lot of sparks around, you can do the same, but sometimes when you hit a pack, it applied the shock and the lightning conduit activates or something like this. Maybe there is like a rare monster with over 10 modifiers and it's way more tanky than the map boss, closer to pinnacle boss, to be honest. So sometimes you can just shotgun with, like second activation or something like this. So that's not, it's helpful. to even, you know, like regain the energy to the cast on shock itself faster. This note here is also nice. It's like um, mathematically is not 15% more, because the damage on lightning damage is, you know, very wide. So it's not 15% more. It's around, I don't know, like 8, 9, 10%. But we can, you know, like increase our luck with the node here, which make lightning damage with not critical hits is lucky. And because we moved from critical hit to you know, like pure raw damage, this node here is really beneficial. So that's it. Yes, I was thinking to, you know, like I always thinking to unslot and pick those not here, but for 5 points I think the bonuses there are really good. So it's crazy to, you know, like find sufficient replacement for those, so it stays like this. I think this tech here is really huge, because we, you know, like we save so many points by allocating this jewel here. It's crazy. Okay, so let's move down there. As you probably know, this version of Spark is using Lightning Conduit, and Lightning Conduit deal more and more damage the more shock effect you have. So the more magnitude, the more powerful shock you apply, the more powerful Lightning Conduit is. So we want as much as possible magnitude of shock. And as you can see, I think like my every jewel have magnitude of shock now, to some degree, of course, because yeah, the perfect jewels are expensive to buy. But yeah, I think like I have quite, you know, like the good one, because I bought it, you know, like for the last couple of weeks. So that's it. My previous, you know, like middle version, I allocate the points there, but to be honest, those travel nodes are a bit of waste. So I decided to relocate them from here to there, and to change the anointment from frazzled to piercing shot. And at first, at the beginning, like 2 weeks ago or so, I thought to myself, piercing shot is a waste, because you not really clear the pack by, you know, like damaging every enemy in the pack with the spark itself. You clear the pack by applying the shock to the whole pack, and the lightning conduit, you know, like nuke the pack itself. But piercing shot is huge, because not only sometimes you are able to, you know, like apply double shock almost instantly to the pack, so you almost instantly clear the pack and the rare itself in this pack. So yeah, so it's really helpful during the mapping phase, you know, and I already have, I think, almost 100% of shock on the enemy. So the damage is no longer the issue. So I decided to, you know, like use this anointment on some quality mapping experience, I would say. So yeah, so I think this anointment here with the setup like this is really huge. Also, this node here, flash storm, it looks like a waste because you know, like people say, oh, you don't need damage penetration, lightning resistance penetration, because we have the curse and blah blah blah. But to be honest, this damage penetration, it increase the the chance to shock the first time the spark hit any enemy, because some enemy already can have, you know, like 20 or more percentage of resistance, especially if you roll the map mod um, with some resistance. Some enemy can have some resistance, and this two nodes here, it really helps with, you know, like really it help with it help with increasing the chance even more to apply the shock. Yes. So that's it. Oh, I decided to, I think it's good to also talk about such stuff. I decided to, you know, like move from the nodes here and there, at least from the, you know, like main setup, because if we using Spark, the version with lightning conduit, we don't really need skill effect duration, because I realized that this increased skill effect duration, it's mostly beneficial if you stack the spark itself. You know, like if you are not using this lightning conduit, and you deal damage 100% from spark itself, then it's really beneficial, because you allow to spark to stay longer, to be able to deal damage more and more times. But in our case, we need spark sometimes to deal damage, to apply shock once, or to apply shock like 5 times, 4 times in a second. So we don't really need this extensive duration. So I decided to get rid of this here to gain, as I said, even more skill points. Also, as I mentioned before, don't pick those nodes here, and probably this one here also, because you can save so many skill points here just by using this jewel and picking this. It's not really worth it, and with longer shock duration, I think it's huge damage decrease, because the longer the shock stays, the longer you are not allowed to apply additional shocks, so your lightning conduit damage sink, because we want the shocks to be as quick to expire as quick as possible. The only, you could say, bad note is this one with increased duration of elemental alignment, but with 30% increased magnitude of not damaging alignment, I will take it. You know, 50% in comparison to 10%, it's nice. So that's it. And you know, like when I finish the whole setup like this, I got left with 3 skill points, and I didn't really find clear winner where to allocate those additional 3 points, because like the clear winner would be to, for example, travel, to spend like 5 points here to travel and pick another jewel socket, but I got 3. So I decided to um, unspec, I believe, this node here to gain 4 points, and to allocate those node here to have +1 charm slot, and this like a little movement speed boost and a little damage boost while and charms active. But it's mainly about the additional charm slot. And why is that? Because as you can see, unfortunately, the stone charm is a must on this version of this build, because mana don't really increase your stun threshold, so you need stone charm to be able to not be like gangbanged by mobs. Even like white mobs sometimes during, for example, simulacrum or some other shit, you will blink into pack of the mobs, or if they have this like 50% increase of movement, attack speed and everything, they can just like swarm you. So yeah, this is really helpful. And as I mentioned, this one is also nice because it just give us some extra rarity. So that's it. About the build part, I can say my like observation when I move from 200 rarity to 500 rarities. I think rarity works to some degree. Like I get way more exalted orb. I think I get divine's orbs a bit faster, like it appear like I drop divine orbs more frequently, I would say, but it's not a huge difference. Maybe because I'm not min-maxing tablets to like 100% min-maxing, so maybe that's the issue. But I think more and more rarity, especially if you can like if you not sacrifice the damage, if you not sacrifice the clear speed and everything, it's like the the pinnacle of stats. Yes, like me personally, I can afford that much of rarity, because the alternative, it's like what, like more mana, more something. Okay, it's the more damage, but if I really need the more damage when I kill the breach pinnacle boss in like 1 second, no, I don't need additional damage. So so that's it. I think in current state this build is like especially if you compare the price of an item to the power which they give you, I think this is the best build currently. I have some secret variant in my mind to maybe make it even more OP, but yeah, but I would need another, I don't know, like 300 divines to change stuff around. So for now it stay like this. Yeah, so it's that alternative, it's really expensive. So now I will just wait for GGG move, what they decided to nerf, and then I will act you know, like according to what they plan to do, because as I mentioned, they can cut the damage of this build like in half. They can cut it even I think 60-70%, and it still be, you know, like it still be a good build in comparison to some melee shit or something like this. And it's not that I hate melee. I think melee would be great in this game, but there is, you know, like the melee don't have clear speed, the melee don't have, you know, like anything to their name to be, you know, like a good ascendancy, a good build, unfortunately. So that's my take on this. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had a great new year, or will have a great new year. And yeah, take care, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Bye, guys.